Uh, Good evening, Nigerians. This is Barrister Waziri once again. We're just coming back from INEC. We are now FISCREF, that's the NGO, Fiscal and Civic Rights Enlightenment Foundation. We are now representing another group that is also having issues with INEC with regards to their party. Uh, Basically, the legal representation now is basically two separate youth movements, both asking INEC to just be a fair and partial judge in this election. But I did promise that I would do a video for as your shadow minister for solid minerals um, with regards to the mining week. Now, every year, Nigeria has several mining conferences or whatever, and all of them have one result: the disconnect between what the people abroad are expecting to find and what here in Nigeria we need, right? I stopped going when I realized most of those mining weeks were filled with people who were coming to try and peddle heavy equipment, bulldozers, excavators, and the lot. That's aside from small scale mining and some other activities. That's not what we need at this point. What we need is either people who are going to bring exploration equipment for people to buy here and use, or we need uh, partners that will come in and help do exploration. Now, here is the problem. I've been in the sector for 13 years, 11 of which I've had a license. There is nobody that's going to give you risk capital for exploration, where you're going to spend a period of time where all you're doing is sinking money in with no guarantee of money coming out. It is too fair. It is too much of a burden on any high net worth individual. It is not even the responsibility of government. That's another mistake people make. It is not the responsibility of government to do all of this exploration. How it is done is how it's been done in the other parts of the world where countries like Australia, the mining capital of the world, yeah, you raise risk capital through the capital market, the stock exchange, right? You list a junior mining company, you raise the exploration funds, the initial exploration funds, as that company is defining resources, making discoveries, the share prices are going up, the initial investors make money, and so on and so forth, all until up until when you get a resource definition. And at which point you're now at the same stage that the oil blocks that we have in this country are, which is you have a defined resource and you can now knock on the door of a multinational company and say, hey, see what I got, right? But before then, okay, what needs to happen, Mr. Minister, is not all this drinking of tea and biscuits at all these conferences. No. What you should do, if you were to listen to your shadow minister on the other side of the table, is, and this is expo for you, by the way, because I've been here watching minister come, minister go, and all of you seem to be clueless as to how to drive this sector forward. Now, what you should do is invite the DG of SEC, right, Securities Exchange Commission, invite the head of the NGX, right, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, sit them down, have a look at and review of our existing listing laws, right? Obviously, to list on the stock exchange, you have to have X amount of years, I think 3 minimum or whatever, of turnover and what have you and records. Now the problem with exploration is you have no turnover. You are making no income. All you are doing is risking money into something that may or may not happen. What you need to do is relax those laws. Allow junior mining companies with certain parameters. For example, you must have a portfolio of assets. You can't just come with just one. Junior mining companies with a portfolio of assets to be able to list on our stock exchanges and raise the $3 to $5 million. Let's put it at $5.5 million per junior mining company, right? That would allow it to now carry out JOC style, right? These are international reporting standards. JOC style, or the Canadian one, now is just a bunch of numbers, N3101 or whatever. But these are the standards, the gold standards of mineral exploration reporting. All right, your feasibility reports and all of that. So that allows those junior mining companies to be able to carry out exploration on either the Australian or the Canadian model, but they are both internationally recognized, right? Once those companies reach, let's say a mining cycle in terms of from license acquisition to actual mining is 7 stages. Let's say by the time they're hitting stage 3, early stage 4, right? not only have the people who have invested money at the ground level made multiples on their investments, right? But it now attracts the junior mining companies that have either the technical expertise or the financing to now take this project from what was a $5 million investment to start with to something that has defined the resource that requires, let's say, 150 million dollars to sink in to be able to now start mining. Okay. Now, at that point, you can either attract multinationals as your mining partners, or you can now gamble it for yourself and go to the stock exchange and raise more money and carry on. Okay. And to that end, I want to do a big shout out to our proof of concept in this country, Mr. Shegun Lawson, I think his name is, of Thor Exploration. Well done, sir. You have put Nigeria on the map, okay, on the mining map, and the rest of us are just trying to walk in your shadows and footsteps, okay. So, and again, in the spirit of commending people, Mr. Minister, you too. Let it not be that we're always just criticizing you increasing the annual service fees, and I think I heard recently the government royalties that we pay to for extracting these minerals. Again, well done, sir. A lot of people are grumbling about that. However, for me, no, that's a good thing because what it does is it sanitizes the at least the sector, the area where mineral license holders are holding on to speculators, basically holding on to licenses, multiple licenses, and doing nothing with them. All they're looking for is some schmuck that's going to come and give them 50 to 100 million naira for what is in essence a piece of paper. So yeah, so well done for that because now we know only serious people are in the sector. But in doing that, Mr. Minister, this is like I said, I am of the belief that we do not have to just be on opposing sides simply because we belong to different parties or different platforms or whatever. No, if we can have synergies of ideology, then it doesn't matter which party I'm in and which party you are. I mean, come on, Mr. President is doing it with Wike, with PDP in it. I mean, for whatever reasons they're doing it, but at least he has shown that that is possible. So here's my little, hey, take this one from me. Seriously, for the betterment of the country, for the development of that sector, please invite these two heads of these two bodies, the SEC, the NGX, relax the laws, allow junior mining companies to be listed on the stock exchange to be able to raise the necessary risk capital that we desperately need for this country's sector that sector is on the same par with oil and gas, or probably even bigger. But nobody wants to bite the dust and just go and do that work, that necessary exploration. We're waiting for you both to come and do it. Why would they? It's your country, it's your land, it's your resources. But again, it's not as if there's no way we can work it out. But again, like I said, the onus is on us. Let us develop our own sector so that we can even have the main say on the table when they come to finally say, oh yeah, what kind of work do you want? How much is it going to cost? Or yeah, pay yourself with the resources that we have already defined. Come on, it's not that hard, gentlemen and ladies. All right, so yeah, once again, as always, God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless the United Tribes of Nigeria. God bless you and good night.